And welcome back.
Hello, hello. Today is September 17th, and today's topic makes me chuckle. Today's topic is dealing with haters.
Excellent. Just what I need.
Marcus Aurelius, of course, he says, "What if someone despises me? Let them see to it. But I will see to it that I won't be found doing or saying anything contemptible. What if someone hates me? Let them see to that. But I will see to it that I'm kind and good-natured to all and prepared to show even the hater where they went wrong, not in a critical way or to show off my patience, but genuinely and usefully."
Yeah, that's where the patience is where I struggle, right? Like I can actually explain something to the hater without getting too bent out of shape, I guess. But if that hater continues to like kind of bring those things back and say no, like they continue to hate that thing. That's when the last sentence of my emotions start to get involved, and I know that's not beneficial. I know, like I would so much rather go through an argument calmly, and then walk out on the other end and say, "Oh, that how awesome it was! I didn't get emotionally involved in this." Right? It'd be so amazing. Can I sign up for that somewhere? That would be great. It's just practice, I guess.
Yeah, you can sign up through repetition.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want. Give me more of this. Give me more of this dysfunction. Amazing.
I wonder if there's also some like little trick in the mind where it's like, it can be really easy to put the responsibility on someone else to understand us. You know, it might feel like it's the other person's job to understand what I'm saying. But what if that is not the case? Because I can't control whether or not they understand it. So like, they're just gonna be the way that they are. And it's my job to now step back into the conversation and say, oh, I meant A, but clearly based on your response, you're seeing X. So now I would tend to feel frustrated because in my mind, there's this little belief there that's like, oh, you're not getting it. But what if that's not their job? Like, what if it's my job to look at where they don't get it and to be curious about that, not pissed off about it, but curious about the gap between what I'm actually trying to say and what they're getting. And now it's my job to try again. Mm-hmm. And, oh, they come back. They're not getting it again. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what if it's still my job remains the same? However many times this goes back and forth.
I love your hypothetical person, because that hypothetical person, even if they're disagreeable, which is fine, there might be in your mind currently acceptant to the idea of let's have a nice conversation. But what if this person is not only not accepting your ideas, but also is disrupting and doesn't let you actually say your 2 cents, and now you can't actually. Like that is the frustration I'm going through, is ultimately like getting to be able to say and respond to what has been put on table, right?
And that's probably why Marcus is writing about this to himself in his journal, because when you are dealing with somebody who's disagreeable and a hater, they are emotional, and emotions make things move fast. So and a person who doesn't have like a strong control over their emotions or command over it, their emotions are now sort of just like pulling them along and tugging them along in this whole interaction. And they're really fast. And now this other person is just being like a dick.
It's better. I want to have a permission. Is the right way to interrupt people like that? You know.
What do you mean? Like asking them for permission?
Mm-hmm. May I have your permission to say something? And now you're giving them the control over them creating the space for you. Because if you just start saying, well, I have something to say, well, no, it's not your time.
Yeah.
They want to continue to control it. But if you ask them,
Well, when you ask them, it maybe like it lets them like put their guard down because they're very guarded, they're emotional about something, which means they don't feel safe. So they feel like they're being attacked, even if they're not, but they feel like it. So now when you ask permission, you're restoring a little bit of the safety to the environment.
Yeah.
And that's maybe the hardest part is like maybe my first job before I'm trying to get the other person to understand me. Before that, my first job is to create psychological safety so that we can actually have this conversation. Because until that's established, we're not hearing each other. So why am I spending my energy trying to get you to hear me when you can't hear me?
You can't hear a monologue. That's what I mean. It's hard to hear a monologue if you are alive with someone. You know what I mean? It's like, well, I want to...
Sure, and I'm even talking if there's like a back and forth and just like the emotions are heightened.
Sure.
And because of that, they don't feel safe. They cannot hear whatever the message is that I'm trying to communicate. But yeah, if the style of conversation is monologue to monologue, now that becomes really difficult too.
Yeah, and I think that's it's not a conversation. It's like we're both saying our point of view, but we're not actually
getting on the same page.
Discussing it,
Because the safety isn't there. So it's like saying things, but there's stonewalling on this side.
Yeah, I would have someone say something for 25 minutes and then they say, "Are we on the same page?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I haven't even start to express what I'm thinking about all of this."
Yeah.
Good times. Okay.
And Marcus is saying here, genuinely and usefully.
Genuinely and usefully.
Like, genuine is like, I don't have ulterior motives. I want to repair this.
But internally, I have genuine interest in to be on the same page with all these people. But it's like, it gets to a point where it's really difficult at the time because of these communication holes or gaps or just misalignment on how, misalignment on how, and there's not misalignment on why, it's just how to do it,
You mean how to have the conversation?
Yeah, because both parties know that we're not having a good conversations, you know what I mean? And that's my point in here is that when those emotions get involved, that's when this cannot happen. The genuinely and
usefully, patience.
Patience cannot happen when the emotions get involved. So the second the emotions get involved, which is usually most likely some sort of a heightened emotion, right? And
when you say get involved, I'm seeing a distinction because it's one thing to experience an emotion and recognize that, oh, this is something I'm experiencing, but I'm not going to allow it the power to run my behavior or my script that I'm saying right now. Versus I'm having a feeling, I may or may not even know that I'm having it, but it's just in control completely right now. And so I think the definition of patience would be taking that emotion from being in control and saying, okay, it's part of my experience, but I am bigger than my emotion.
Yeah, but that's what's so difficult, I'm trying.
Of course, that's difficult.
I'm currently trying not to start the emotion. That's where my focus is.
I know, but I don't know if you can control that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's not working. I'm trying to be like, I'm not gonna have it, or I'm gonna avoid it. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna interrupt this whole time. So I'm sitting there, but I want to interrupt. So I'm fighting something internally, right? So that can never work like that. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if that is an example of patience. What you're talking about, waiting to not interrupt. I don't know if
It would be if it didn't felt. If I was actually patient, then I wouldn't have the feeling that I need to interrupt because I would be like, it's totally fine. It will get to a point where I will be able to ask a question. But I believe that it will not happen because it's so packed and full and long that it's like, when is this happening? And I jumped and several different points are being discussed. So I'm like, how am I going to remember all these points to discuss it at the end of that conversation? I'm like, oh my God. And that drives me nuts. And so then I have to interrupt. And I said, oh, sorry, can I say something? No, let me finish. Well, I was letting you finish for 45 minutes. So it's like, you know what I mean? So now, and that's when I go like, okay, well, I need, if I want to, it gets very, very fast and very confusing very quickly, how to like stay calm, right? And AKA, that's why that's not working, because I'm trying to stay calm or avoid the getting upset versus what you're saying. No, get upset and then deal with that. While you're upset, it's okay for you to be upset, right?
I mean, I just don't think that it works to try to control which emotions enter the system. Sure. I think that the only control we really have over that is the emotion enters, and now there is the option for me to decide what to do with that emotion and how that emotion gets translated into what I say and what I do.
Right, and I try to ignore it or avoid having it, and then if that's happening for 25 minutes, I can't hold on that long.
Well, right, and then you explode, and then the emotion takes complete control over everything you do and everything you say.
Yeah.
So
and I still say normal things. It just all comes out all at once.
Well,
and why it came all at once? Well, because I wasn't able to interrupt during the whole conversation. So that's what ends up happening. Yeah, it's like what Gendlin was saying. It's like interrupt, like find out like how to interrupt, right?
So I think that's on you, because like you saying I wasn't able to interrupt almost implies that this other person didn't give me the opportunity.
The other person is not communicating in a way that they're asking me a question or they're giving a space. Hey, now that I said all of that, do you have anything to add to that?
Right.
This is a section. No. Okay.
I understand it's not an ideal situation.
It's not like this. It's like, what do you think? 30 minutes later, right? Like, you are now you spoke for 29 minutes and now you're giving me 1 minute to answer to all of the stuff that's been said. That's very difficult. How am I going to do anything with this?
Yeah, I understand like the style is not ideal. I'm just saying that like somebody else is not the reason why you are or not doing something.
I see. And are you hearing that? That's what I'm saying?
It sounded like it was like connected. Like, I can't. I can't be patient because I'm not allowed to interrupt or something like that.
No. Well, yeah, because if I interrupt, I'm being told don't interrupt. So now I am saying, when this person is speaking, I cannot interrupt. Right? Because if I interrupt, again, I get reminder, hey, don't interrupt me. I got to finish this, right? And it's like, yeah, but you're now on point 6 and I have points to point 1, but there was no opening to.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. It's just like, there's still like the thing of like, okay, you're a tricky person, but like at the same time, like you are not causing this in me. Like I still have my own autonomy 100% of the time to make my decision about whether or not I interrupt you, even if after I do it you say don't interrupt me, you know what I mean?
It's like, but I stopped interrupting. That's what I'm saying. Like I know that I can, and I did, and I got told not to. All right, so it's like after, like I've tried before, like 1 minute in, no, don't interrupt me, let me finish. 10 minutes in, no. So I already know it's kind of coming, and I do it anyway, and I do get that, and now I'm like,
so that's not a winning strategy.
But I'm not saying that this is on that person at all. Okay. I don't know. That was misunderstood there. That's not what I was saying at all. I'm not leaving this onto this person. I'm just saying I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
In that scenario, I'm not trying to get them to.
It's like
change.
Interrupting is not a winning strategy.
How do I change? What do I do? So my whole thing was like, maybe I need to ask for permission.
Yeah.
Permission to interrupt, because currently I just interrupt, or I raise my hand and my hand will be raised for 5 minutes before somebody notices it, or I, so it's like, it's this type of a thing, right? So it's hard to, come up with the right thing to say in order to create that space. And currently I am unable to, I'm having a hard time creating those spaces where I can actually insert something.
Yeah, you're trying out the different strategies to see like if one will win or
so
something.
the may I have your permission to interrupt might be a new strategy to try.
Or like also like figuring out how to candidly share
Yeah,
it.
because
like,
I don't want to quit on it, right? Like they're saying like, don't quit, go work hard through the hard stuff, right? Like, okay. So like, because this makes me want to quit. I don't want to work in a place where, people are like this, like it's very difficult to work there, get anything done, right? So I want to figure it out, and I want to keep fighting it, or not fighting it, but keep working in this dysfunctional environment to get through this hard stuff or something, like get through that and somehow not have this dysfunction. No, help to change that dysfunction into something that functions.
Yeah.
In some way, it's not going to be perfect. Nobody wants perfect, but it's like nobody also wants to be functioning on 2% because that's not good either, right? 100% is bad and 2% is also bad. Like it's got to be somewhere higher than 2%, and we don't have to strive for 100. We can strive for 90 or something. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Yeah. Also, like, if I were in your shoes, which you're not asking me to like think through if I were in your shoes, but like I would need them to understand what a performance barrier this is creating for me, like this whole communication style. And like I would need to like share this with somebody, hopefully that person, like directly, and be like, look, this is creating legitimate issues in my life because people don't always know how their behavior is coming across to other people. And like we might all look at it like it's obvious, or like you're pissing everybody off, so like everybody must have told you this already. But it's like, no, people are scared. People don't know how to have these conversations. It's very likely that like nobody has brought this tendency up to this person, and this person knows that something's off in all of their interactions because like you aren't the only person they're having these issues with, but like they don't know what it is that they could be doing differently.
Yeah, the diagnosis of what's going on over there is one thing, and I get it. You're spot on all of that. Yeah. But I need to focus more. I say to myself, well, I don't have a control over that at all, right?
Control
so like,
over what?
Over other people and how they behave.
No, I'm saying control over, like, I'm saying what if that is a strategy, a winning strategy for communicating with them, is like sharing that this is a performance barrier.
Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I am bringing this up. It's not like I'm being in silo and just being quiet. No. We're having disagreements. Trust me. Yeah, but it's
right. But like sharing, not just disagreements about the subject matter.
I understand. Yes, I understand your point. All I'm saying is I'm bringing up things that cause disagreements, and those disagreements are being noticed, and it's heading to that place where I'm going to have to say, this is hindering the performance of this team when we don't have our stuff together.
Right.
Yeah. It's performance issue at this point. It's not like I want something done certain way because that's the way that's correct. No. Let's do it the way you want it, but it needs to make sense.
Yeah, right? The performance. I like the performance barrier language because
right? Like they explain to me how it works. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but like I'm not getting explanation. I'm just getting pushback on this way, right? And not pushback that's logical or any other. It's not vetted out like why that's that way. No, it's just no. That's not really what it is. Okay, thank you. Anyway, good times.
Okay, let's read Ryan.
Let's do it, yeah.
When someone has a strong opinion about something, it usually says more about them than whatever or whomever the opinion happens to be about. This is especially true when it comes to resentment and hatred of other people. It is a sad irony that the prejudiced often harbor secret attractions to those they so publicly hate. For this reason, the Stoic does two things when encountering hatred or ill opinion in others. They ask, is this opinion inside my control? If there is a chance or influence or change, they take it. If there's a chance for influence or change, they take it. But if there isn't, they accept this person as they are and never hate a hater. Our job is tough enough already. We don't have time to think about what other people are thinking, even if it's about us.
Yes. Yes, Ryan. I agree with you. Yeah.
We can let that one stand on its own.
Yeah. Awesome blossom. Make it special awesome.
Okay, my friend. Thanks for tuning in today, and
Bye,
we
guys.
will see you tomorrow.